a fated week of transformation. Spanning March 19th, 22 represents far more than a simple stretch of days on the calendar. It unfolds as a rare cosmic gateway in which a convergence of planetary shifts, energetic thresholds, and metaphysical portals coalesce to propel us into uncharted territory of personal growth and collective awakening. During this concentrated interval, the usual rhythms of life are subtly suspended, giving way to a powerful undercurrent that challenges entrenched habits, exposes hidden beliefs, and invites profound breakthroughs. As each planet moves into alignment, it triggers symbolic doorways, momentary openings through which the universe offers insights that would otherwise remain obscured by the daily grind. These transitions may manifest as sudden flashes of clarity, illuminating long-ignored truths, intense emotional surges that shake the foundations of our comfort zones, or inexplicable synchronicities that guide us toward new directions. Rather than passively observing these celestial events, we are encouraged to actively engage, to pause and listen inwardly, to journal raw impressions, to meditate on buried fears or aspirations, and to articulate clear intentions for what we wish to release or invite in. The energies at play during this extraordinary window erase the boundaries between the terrestrial and the transcendent, empowering us to rewrite outdated narratives and to forge empowered pathways forward. Old patterns, whether they involve relationships, career trajectories, or self-limiting thoughts, are primed for dismantling, making space for fresh visions and more authentic expressions of our highest potential. In essence, this is not simply a 4-day phenomenon, but a metamorphic catalyst that reverberates far beyond March 22nd, seeding the possibility of lasting change. By consciously aligning with these planetary currents, by opening ourselves to the wisdom they carry, and by taking deliberate steps in harmony with their flow, we can emerge from this fated week profoundly transformed, equipped with newfound resilience, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. On the night of April 19th, the heavens stage a rare and evocative spectacle when the moon glides directly in front of Antares, the fiery red supergiant often called the Heart of Scorpius, momentarily blotting out its vibrant glow and reminding us that even the most brilliant lights can be hidden from view. This astronomical occultation, visible to observers along a narrow path on Earth, transcends mere celestial mechanics to become a powerful metaphor for our inner lives. Just as Antares vanishes behind the lunar disk, only to re-emerge in full splendor moments later, so too do aspects of our own selves sometimes recede from consciousness, buried beneath the weight of ordinary concerns, habitual coping strategies, or unacknowledged emotions, only to return with greater intensity and clarity. Once the obscuring veil is lifted, in that pregnant pause, when the star's rich vermilion hue lies concealed in darkness, we are invited to contemplate what truths, desires, or creative sparks we have allowed to go dormant. We can use this interval of cosmic stillness to peer into the shadows of our subconscious, asking ourselves which fears, self-judgments, or outdated narratives have been eclipsing our capacity for wholehearted living. To fully harness the energy of this moment, carve out several minutes of quiet time, either just before or immediately after the occultation. Settle into a comfortable posture, take a few deep, grounding breaths, and begin to journal freely, allowing words and images to surface without censorship. Pose intentional prompts such as, what part of me feels unseen right now, or what long-held belief am I ready to release, and then follow wherever your pen carries you. As you write, Notice any physical sensations: tightness in the chest, a flutter in the belly, or a rush of warmth under the skin, as these bodily cues often signal where deeper emotional material resides. Once you have given voice to these buried elements, consciously set an intention to let them go. Imagine, in vivid detail, old fears drifting away like lunar shadow across a starry sky, and affirm silently or aloud, "I release what no longer serves me and welcome renewed clarity." In the days following the occultation, revisit your journal entries to observe any shifts in mood, insight, or behavior, reinforcing your commitment to inner transparency. By embracing the symbolic teachings of the Antares occultation, recognizing that concealment is often a precursor to revelation, and that what lies hidden is not lost but waiting for its moment to shine, you transform a fleeting astronomical event into a lasting catalyst for self-discovery, emotional liberation, and renewed creative vision. On April 19th, the sky offers a delicate but potent dance as Mercury, the planet of communication and logical thought, draws near to Neptune, the celestial embodiment of dreams, intuition, and the boundless imagination, creating a conjunction that softens the usually sharp contours of our rational minds and invites us to inhabit a more fluid, emotionally resonant mode of awareness. In practical terms, this alignment infuses our mental landscape with a heightened sensitivity, transforming everyday thoughts into fertile soil for creative endeavors. Whether you choose to pick up a paintbrush, compose poetry, sit for a guided meditation, or simply let your pen wander across journal pages, you'll find that ideas flow more freely and connections emerge more intuitively than under ordinary circumstances. Yet this same mystical veneer that blesses our inner worlds with inspiration also carries the risk of shrouding objective reality. Neptune's influence can blur boundaries, turning metaphor into literal belief, or leading us into the snare of miscommunication if we're not vigilant. To harness the best of this energy, begin by grounding yourself. Take a few moments of conscious breathing, feel your feet on the earth, and set a clear intention to observe any intuitive impressions, without mistaking them for concrete facts. As Mercury's sharp light meets Neptune's gentle haze, you might experience vivid dreams or receive symbolic nudges during waking hours. Pay attention to recurring images or phrases, jot them down immediately, and consider what hidden aspects of your psyche they could be illuminating. At the same time, remember that not every whisper from the subconscious is meant to be enacted literally. Treat each vision as a guidepost rather than a directive. When collaborating or communicating under this conjunction, choose your words with extra care. Pause before responding, ask clarifying questions, and verify important details to prevent misunderstandings born of Neptune's veil of illusions. If you're writing, allow yourself to draft freely in the morning or evening hours when Neptune's influence is strongest. But plan a later revision session when Mercury's practical edge can return to sharpen and refine your work. Creative exercises such as automatic writing, dream incubation, or listening to evocative music can deepen your insights, but always anchor those explorations with a tangible ritual, lighting a candle, placing a grounding crystal on your desk, or writing your intentions on a stone to remind yourself of the bridge between inspiration and manifestation. Ultimately, the Mercury-Neptune conjunction is an invitation to blend intuition with intellect, To trust that the heart of a fresh idea often lies in places our logical mind cannot yet map, while remaining alert enough to distinguish poetic metaphor from literal misunderstanding. By honoring both planets' gifts, Mercury's clarity and Neptune's mystery, you can ride this wave of fluid mental energy to produce work that is not only imaginative and evocative, but also coherent, meaningful and capable of inspiring others. On the morning of April 20th, as the sky begins to lighten in the east, a remarkable convergence of four worlds, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune, gathers in a single cosmic tableau that invites us to witness not only an astronomical rarity, but also a profound symbolic convergence of energies that shape our inner and outer journeys. Against the soft pastel glow of dawn, Venus rises with its legendary luminosity, bringing into focus themes of love, harmony, and value. It reminds us to ask ourselves what or whom we cherish most, and whether our relationships and creative passions reflect those true priorities. Not far from its radiant warmth, swift Mercury winks into view, the herald of clarity, communication, and mental agility. As it flits among the stars, it encourages us to speak and listen with intention, to articulate our needs and ideas with precision, and to remain open to new perspectives that might reshape our thinking. Further afield, patient Saturn holds its steady vigil, a beacon of structure, discipline, and long-term vision. Its austere light challenges us to assess the foundations upon which we have built our ambitions, asking whether our efforts are supported by sound planning and whether our commitments align with our deepest aspirations. And finally, with the aid of binoculars or a small telescope, elusive Neptune emerges, its soft, diffuse glow a canvas for dreams, intuition, and spiritual insight that transcends the limitations of the material world. Together, these planetary lights weave a tapestry of influences that invites us to step outside our everyday routines and engage in a deliberate process of reflection and realignment. Under Venus's gentle sway, we might revisit our most meaningful connections, evaluating not only the joy and harmony they bring, but also the ways in which we honor ourselves and others. Mercury's presence suggests we pay careful attention to the dialogues we hold, whether internal or external, discerning when our thoughts serve our growth and when they merely echo past conditioning. Guided by Saturn's resolute energy, we are encouraged to examine our long-term projects. Are we investing our time and resources wisely, or do we need to impose firmer boundaries and more consistent habits to see our visions through? And with Neptune's veil of mystery, we are reminded that not all guidance arrives in concrete instructions. Sometimes the most valuable messages come in the form of fleeting images, symbolic dreams, or intuitive nudges, so we must cultivate the stillness and receptivity to recognize them. To harness the power of this alignment, consider rising before sunrise and finding a clear vantage point, free from urban light pollution, where you can witness Venus, Mercury, and Saturn with the naked eye. Bring a journal or sketch pad and begin by noting your initial impressions, any words, emotions, or sensations that arise as you gaze upward. Then, to deepen your understanding, observe each planet briefly in turn. Let Venus's radiance prompt questions of love and self-worth. Let Mercury's quicksilver glow stimulate clarity on a current challenge. Let Saturn's distant light encourage you to draft a skeletal outline of the steps needed to achieve a long-term goal. and let Neptune's subtle shimmer guide you into a short meditation, allowing spontaneous images or feelings to surface. As you alternate between observation and introspective writing, notice how the interplay of these energies can reveal alignments or dissonances in your life. Finally, synthesize your insights by crafting a concise intention statement that honors all four planetary themes, perhaps pledging to speak your truth, Mercury, in service of more authentic relationships, Venus, to commit to disciplined action, Saturn, toward a dream that stirs your soul, Neptune. By realigning your goals in love, creativity, career, and spiritual growth, with the cosmic choreography unfolding overhead, you transform a celestial spectacle into a tangible roadmap for personal evolution, one that resonates long after the planets have moved on. On April 21st, sky watchers are treated to Mercury's greatest western elongation of 2025, a rare occasion when the swift planet swings as far from the sun as it ever appears in our dawn sky, rising just before first light and offering its clearest, most unobstructed appearance of the year. Normally, Mercury remains hidden in the sun's glare, but at this peak elongation, its tiny crescent becomes unmistakable against the pale morning horizon, rewarding early risers who brave the chill air and quiet stillness before dawn. Beyond its astronomical significance, this event carries profound symbolism. Just as the planet breaks free from solar washout to shine distinctly in the east, so too can we experience a lifting of mental fog, gaining fresh insight, renewed focus, and the promise of new beginnings. In the same way that Mercury's orbit carries it into view, clarity can emerge from the murkiest doubts, illuminating ideas or solutions that previously lay just out of reach. To fully leverage this bright opening, consider greeting the morning with intention. Before you peer through binoculars or simply scan the horizon with naked eyes, take a few moments of stillness, breathe deeply, center your awareness in your body, and set a clear mental marker for what you wish to see more clearly in your life. Whether you're wrestling with a stalled project, indecision about a relationship, or uncertainty regarding career steps, this dawn-lit encounter with Mercury provides an energetic invitation to revisit and refine your goals. Keep a journal or notebook at hand. As Mercury ascends, allow your thoughts to flow onto the page without judgment. Explore what's been clouding your mind. Name the specific questions or aspirations you long to clarify, and then write out concise intentions or action steps that align with your deepest priorities. Later, as the world fully wakes and Mercury's brilliance fades back into the rising sun, carry that newfound lucidity into your day. Refer back to your journal entries. When you need direction, speak your truth with confidence in meetings or conversations, and revisit any creative or strategic work that has stalled. By intentionally anchoring your morning under Mercury's greatest elongation west, you transform a fleeting celestial phenomenon into a sustained practice of clarity, empowering you to navigate challenges with sharper insight and to embark on fresh beginnings guided by the light of this nimble planet. On April 21st, the moon reaches its last quarter phase, signaling the winding down of the current lunar cycle and inviting us into a period of deep cleansing, closure, and release. In this phase, the moon appears half illuminated as it moves toward total darkness, mirroring the subtle process by which we shed what we no longer need in order to make space for new growth. This is a potent moment to turn inward and examine the habits, beliefs, and emotional baggage that have quietly taken up residence in our minds and hearts over the past weeks. By consciously engaging with the lunar energy, whether through journaling prompts that ask, "What patterns am I ready to leave behind?" or through forgiveness rituals that allow us to gently absolve ourselves and others of past grievances, we begin to loosen the grip of old narratives and self-limiting doubts. Physical decluttering can amplify this process. Clearing a drawer, reorganizing a workspace, or even deleting unused digital files creates an external reflection of the internal release we seek. Equally important is giving ourselves permission to pause and recharge. The last quarter is not a time for frenetic action, but for restorative practices like a short digital detox, a nature walk untethered from notifications, or a quiet breathwork session that replenishes our energy reservoirs. As the moon's light wanes, we naturally move toward introspection, taking stock of the lessons we've learned, acknowledging how far we've come, and ceremonially letting go of what no longer aligns with our highest intentions. This conscious release not only helps us close the book on the old lunar cycle, but also primes us for the fresh beginnings that await under the next new moon. When the darkness of the moon pauses at its minimum, we stand ready to plant the seeds of new projects, intentions and perspectives on firmer ground. Embracing the last quarter moon phase as a structured practice, one marked by thoughtful reflection, forgiveness and decluttering, allows us to honor the natural rhythms of release and renewal, ensuring that we carry forward only what truly serves our growth and well-being. On the night of April 22nd, the Lyrid meteor shower reaches its peak, offering skywatchers the chance to witness up to 18 shooting stars per hour streaking across a dark moonlit canvas, with each meteor radiating from the constellation Lyra, like sparks from a celestial forge. Originating from the dust trail of Comet Thatcher, whose debris has been intersecting Earth's orbit for over 2 millennia, the Lyrids are one of humanity's oldest documented meteor events, and their annual return reminds us that the universe's rhythms extend far beyond our everyday experience. Under optimal conditions, ideally between midnight and dawn, away from city lights, with clear skies overhead, observers can simply recline in a comfortable spot and let their gaze drift across the heavens, catching sudden, fleeting streaks of light that blaze briefly before fading into the ether. Yet the true magic of the Lyrid peak lies not only in its astronomical spectacle, but in its profound spiritual resonance. Each meteor, burning brightly as it vaporizes in Earth's atmosphere, becomes a live metaphor for sudden transformation, demonstrating how moments of intense brilliance can arise unexpectedly to illuminate our path. As you lie beneath the stellar expanse, consider using this window to make heartfelt wishes, allowing the sheer wonder of the cosmos to loosen the tight grip of everyday concerns and invite fresh intentions into your life. You might speak your desires silently with each falling star, or simply sit in mindful silence, absorbing the awe and letting it kindle hope in your heart. The Lyrids also encourage us to embrace the unpredictable nature of change. Just as a meteor can appear without warning, so can opportunities and insights manifest in our lives when we least expect them. In the hours following the shower, take time to journal any thoughts or emotions stirred by the experience, noting patterns of synchronicity or creative inspiration that emerged under the meteor-lit sky. Share the spectacle with friends or family if you wish, for communal stargazing can deepen our sense of connection to one another, and to something vastly greater than ourselves. Ultimately, the Lyrid meteor shower peak is more than an astronomical highlight. It is an invitation to marvel at the universe's capacity for sudden beauty, to welcome transformation with open arms, and to carry the spark of cosmic wonder into our everyday journey.